How do you know yourself? You never knew yourself. You thought you knew. You thought this way for years. You played a character that was told to you. The character lived with you for a long time. Now you mistook it for you. This video is not to introduce you. It is to make you notice something. Something you know but never ask. Come with me. A question. Don't answer. Keep the question in your mind. By the end of the video, you will see that you know the answer. It will disturb you. The question is this: are the things you say about yourself your own thoughts, or things that were said to you? You say, I am emotional. Who said it first? You say, I am strong. Or did you have to be that way? You say, I am difficult. Do you think this way because someone said it to you? Think of the words you use to define yourself. How many are your own opinion? How many are not? You couldn't tell the two apart. Most people don't ask this because it is frightening. If the words don't belong to you, what remains? A secret. The moments you feel you know yourself best are the moments you are furthest from yourself. Don't forget. How do you define yourself? Think slowly. What are the first words that come? I am hardworking. I am tired. I am a complex person. I can't trust people. I think too much. Where did these words come from? Did you choose them, or did they stick to you over time? More importantly, did you try to change the words, or have they now become your identity? Saying, I am like this, closes the question, why am I like this? When the question closes, the possibility of change also closes. Knowing yourself is something you do far less than you think. Most people, instead of knowing themselves, repeat themselves. They give the same reactions. They make the same decisions with the same fears. They tell the same story to others. They call this, I am like this. This is not knowing. It is habit. Seeing the difference between habit and identity takes a lot of courage. Well, what if you don't really know who you are? What if you only have a theory about who you are? What if that theory has never been tested? You don't have to answer this question now. In the middle of the video, you will realize that you are right inside this question. Think. When you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror. You feel. You immediately turn the feeling into a word. I am tired. I am unhappy. I am fine. The moment you put the word, you no longer see the rest of that feeling. Once the label sticks, you stop reading what's behind it. Knowing yourself is not sticking labels. It is looking beneath the label. Sometimes defining yourself is actually limiting yourself. How? Come with me. Think. Someone criticized you. A small thing. Why are you so late? You exploded inside. Maybe you said something. Maybe you didn't. The size of the reaction didn't belong just to that question. That reaction had started much earlier. Now you look at that reaction and say, I am like this. I get angry quickly. Actually, you are just hearing the voice of an old wound. That wound is there. You stuck a label on it. I get angry quickly. Now you don't ask why. Most people think they know themselves best when describing themselves to others. When we say, I am such and such a person, we are actually performing. That performance is repeated so much that it feels like the truth itself. I said this a moment ago. The moments you feel you know yourself best are the moments you are furthest from yourself. Now you understand. The moment you perform best is the moment you are furthest from yourself. There is no truth in performance. There is only the version you got used to. We are coming to the main point. Why is it so hard? Why is knowing yourself so exhausting? Why can some people, even after spending 10 years, still say, I don't know who I am? There are 3 reasons for this. Each one most likely exists in you too. First reason. You see yourself most when reacting to others. Someone makes you angry. You feel that anger. That's me, you say. Someone hurts you. You feel that pain. That's me, you say. This is not you. These are your reactions. Reactions usually belong to wounds from the past, not to who you are today. Think. Someone said a small thing to you. Why are you so defensive? You froze. You either said a lot or nothing at all. Something broke inside you. The size of that reaction was not proportional to that question, because that question touched something old, something very old. Now you look at that reaction. I am defensive, you say, as if it's a personality trait. You are only seeing the reflex of an old wound. Subscribe to my channel and find more content for yourself. I get angry quickly, you say. I am defensive, you say. Have you ever asked where that reaction starts? If you have never asked that question, it means you have never known that reaction. You are just carrying it. Now I'm going to tell you something strange. It might take some time to digest this. The moments you think you know yourself most are mostly the moments you are most wrong. Let this sit in a corner of your mind, because at the end of the video, this sentence will carry a very different meaning. Second reason. You know yourself through stories. I had such and such a childhood. I had such and such a relationship. I experienced such and such a disappointment. These stories are real. Stories don't just tell the past. They stick the past to you. Beneath every story there is a meaning. That's why I can't trust. That's why I can't stay close. That's why I am always like this. That meaning turns into your identity over time. Now you don't know who you are without that story. Someone asks you, why are you so distant? You start telling. An old relationship, an old betrayal, an old pain. While telling that story, it's as if you are explaining yourself, as if it's not an excuse but a truth. Are you still inside that story, or are you just carrying it? If you stopped carrying it, who would you be? When explaining yourself, do you always tell the same story? Without the story, who would you introduce yourself as? If you don't know the answer, it means that story isn't telling you. It is keeping you detained. I asked at the beginning of the video, what if you really don't know who you are? There is an answer. Maybe you don't know. This is not a failure, just not having looked yet, because to To look, you first need to put down the story you are carrying. Third reason, you know yourself most through your fears. I don't like such things. I can't be in such environments. I can't get along with such people. These appear as preferences. Most of the time, these are escape routes from your fears. Escape routes turn into your personality over time. An invitation comes, a crowded environment. You immediately say to yourself, I don't like such places. You don't go. Have you ever asked this? Did you really not want to be in that environment? Or were you afraid of how you would appear there? That you wouldn't get enough attention? That you would be rejected? That you would say something wrong? Saying, I don't like, is much easier than saying, I am afraid. And you repeated it so many times that you eventually believed it. How many of the things you say you don't like are things you truly don't like? How many are just things you fear? Have you ever told the two apart? Turning your fears into preferences is not knowing yourself. It is running away from yourself. 3 reasons: reactions, stories, fears. They all seem like they belong to you. They all feel like they come from you. They are voices carried from the past. You mistook those voices for myself. Now let's see this in different areas of your life, because this isn't just in one place. It's everywhere. How do you define yourself in your relationships? I give a lot but don't receive in return. I never make the first move. I am tired of being abandoned. Do these sentences come from within the relationship, or have you been carrying them since your first major heartbreak? Most people create an identity from their first big disappointment. I am unlucky in love. I don't deserve to be loved. I am too much. In every relationship, they find things that confirm that identity. Without realizing, what do you tell yourself in work life? I am not appreciated. I can't be a leader. I have difficulty fitting into the system. Do these sentences define you, or the conditions that put you at that point? Sometimes when we say, I am like this, we are actually saying, they made me like this. Seeing the difference between the two takes a lot of courage. Think about who you were in your family. Were you the strong one, the invisible one, the smart one, the troubled one? Where is that label now? Is it still walking around with you? Most people play the role they received in their family for the rest of their lives. The strong one always feels they have to be strong. The invisible one gets used to always staying invisible. They think these are personality, but these are roles learned a long time ago. A role never questioned. Stop. Breathe. Now a question from within. How do you talk to yourself when no one hears? When you make a mistake, what do you say? Stupid. You did it again. You will never change. Does this voice come from you, or from a voice you heard from someone else long ago? The harshest critic inside you is usually not your own voice. It is the voice someone left in you. You carried it for so long that it now sounds like your own voice. How do you see yourself when making decisions? I am indecisive. I always choose wrong. I act hastily. Where does this come from? From one decision, or from someone saying you can never make the right decision. People who fear their decisions are usually people who have been humiliated because of their decisions. That moment may have stayed far in the past. That voice is still there. You call it, I am indecisive, as if it's a personality trait. How do you see yourself in social environments? I am boring. I am too much. I prefer to stay in the background. Who said these first? Subscribe to my channel and find more content for yourself. When did you start believing them? Most people acquire their social identity in the moment they felt most ashamed. Stumbling before a crowd, a joke not being laughed at, being misunderstood. It turns into, this is me, as if that moment defines you. A single moment doesn't define you. It just leaves a mark. You mistook that mark for an identity. Look at your habits. I procrastinate. I am disorganized. I can't be disciplined. Are these words you use to define yourself, or behaviors you just haven't changed yet? A behavior can be changed. An identity feels unchangeable. The moment you say, I am like this, you turn a behavior into an identity. Now I'm going to tell you something difficult. Listen carefully. Thinking you know yourself is sometimes the most clever way to avoid knowing yourself. Because saying, I am like this closes the question, why am I like this? When the question closes, the possibility of change also closes. Most people don't want to change. It's hard to say this. It's true. Because change shakes the belief about who you are. No matter how heavy that belief is, at least it is familiar. It is less frightening than the unknown. Sometimes even a painful identity feels safer than uncertainty. That's why taking risks is feared. Think, if someone who says, I can't trust, tries to trust in a relationship and is wrong, they don't just lose that relationship. They also lose their belief about themselves. Saying, I am like this eliminates that risk. At the same time, it eliminates the possibility of truly seeing yourself. Here is where a strange cycle begins. To know yourself, you look at yourself. What you see is only the version you got used to, only the story you adopted, only the reactions you carry. The real you is beneath those layers. Very quiet, very rarely questioned. How will you remove the layers? It's easy to ask this, but there is one thing, small but important. Knowing yourself is not finding answers. It is learning to carry questions. Why do I get so angry? Do I still have to carry this story? Is this fear really mine, or is it learned? These questions don't answer immediately, but they sit with you. Over time, they shift something. At the beginning of the video, I told you something. Do the things you say about yourself really come from you? Now ask yourself again. So far, we have seen this. Your reactions come from the past. Your stories fix you in place. Your fears turn into to your preferences. You mistake these three for me. We have also seen this. These things belong to you. Yes, you are not the sum of them. You are bigger than your reactions, bigger than your stories, bigger than your fears. You only see this when you dare to look at them. Looking doesn't mean erasing them. It means noticing them. Where does this reaction come from? Is this story still true? Is this fear mine or learned? Asking these questions doesn't make you weak. On the contrary, it allows you to truly see yourself for the first time. Most people live their entire lives in a theory about themselves. That theory is never tested, because testing it might mean it turns out to be wrong. Being wrong shakes everything about who you are. Think, if that theory is wrong, is that a bad thing? Or is it an opportunity to introduce you to something you haven't seen before? Knowing yourself is not a destination. It is an ongoing gaze. A little more each day. A question in every reaction. A small curiosity in every fear. I should also say this. When you start looking at yourself, you notice one more thing. How you look at yourself is directly connected to how you look at others. Someone who judges themselves also judges others. Someone who can't show compassion to themselves can't show it to others either. This connection is the door to something much deeper. That door hasn't been opened yet. Finally, I want to ask you this. Listen carefully. At the beginning of the video, I asked this. Do the things you say about yourself really come from you? Now you know the answer. Some of them come. Some of them never did. You never told them apart because no one asked. You didn't ask either. Until right now. Last question. Only you will hear it. If you looked in the mirror tomorrow morning and all the words that define you were erased, what would remain? Come with me. In the next video, I talked about you. Subscribe to my channel and find more content for yourself.